Hello. Thank you for joining us. We had a community conversations tonight, and our topic was both and thinking. And one of the things we know is that many people have to make choices about where they're at and what they're doing, and you cannot do everything. And so for those of you who wanted to be here tonight, but you were working or had other obligations, or it was hot and you stayed home, we wanted to give just a recap of what we talked about. And I will plan to post a link to this article that we're going to share with you in the comments as well. You want to start?
Sure. So, what is both or and thinking? How two words can change your outlook and your relationship with yourself. Allow me to introduce you to one of the most powerful or important concepts in my professional and personal life. This reality shifting mindset can relieve anxiety, promote healing, and encourage relationship growth. We're talking about and both. The basis of both or and is that multiple things can be true at the same time, and that everybody has a right to their experience, regardless of what somebody else is experiencing. Not revolutionary, perhaps, but in a world that promotes a zero sum approach to emotional responses in individual situations, both and will crack your world wide open.
So, both and says that you can and almost certainly will feel more than one thing at a time. This reminds me, did you read Harry Potter or watch not. Harry Potter?
Nope.
There you'll have to look it up. Look it up, everybody. There is a scene where Hermione is talking about all the things she was feeling, and Ron said to her, "You couldn't possibly be feeling all of those at the same time. You would explode." And she's like, "No, really, I can feel all those things." Anyway, I digress. You can feel grateful and resentful both at the same time of the pressures of parenthood. You can feel exhilarated by a high-powered position and overwhelmed by the sacrifice it demands. You can feel appreciative to stay at home with your kids and feel trapped by routines. You can both love your career and wish you had more time with your family. You can feel both ambitious and content. When we think about both and, it honors the full, complicated reality that life presents. When you experience a devastating loss, like a death, a divorce, a breakup, or some life change, you can feel both grief and relief. You can feel both sadness and gratitude, and overwhelm and anger. You can feel both devastated and confident that you can be devastated by a relationship ending and confident that it was the right decision.
Absolutely. Talking about feeling all the feelings at the same time, we were just talking in our conversation that my daughter is leaving for college in 3 weeks. And I'm not just feeling one thing, I'm feeling happy and proud and anxious and scared and nervous and all the feelings at the same time. And there is room for all the feelings. Mm-hmm. So making room for everybody's pain. In addition to making room for multiple emotions, both and makes room for multiple people's experiences, regardless of whose is worse. Instead of downplaying our experience because somebody else has it worse, either I can feel pain or they can, since theirs is worse. I should be fine. Both and says that both of you can feel what you feel, and there is room for everybody's pain. So, kind of as an example, my husband has been feeling pretty confident about our daughter leaving for college. You know, he's saying, we did great. She's ready to go. And I'm a wreck. You know, I don't want to let her go. But there is room for both of us to feel both ways. Mm-hmm. And in an either or world, the mother with access to childcare should only feel gratitude and contentment because, after all, there are single mothers out there working 2 jobs. But pain and suffering are not pie. There is room for both women's struggles without comparison. Somebody else's cancer does not make your flu less difficult. It just means that somebody else has cancer. They are both true and can coexist without one lessening the other.
Yeah, and so we might hear things like, well, I'm having a difficult time, or my finances are tight right now, but at least, I have my house complete, or I didn't lose this or that. And so it kind of, you're downplaying your own struggle just because someone else is struggling too. And so as we let go of the either or mindset, here is what the article goes on to say. Somewhere along the way, either or became a dominant cognitive paradigm. In other words, it became our normal way of thinking in our culture is to have an either or. You 2 + 2 = 4. There's a right answer to something. And so this has become the way that we think oftentimes. We learned that our experience is singular and linear. It just goes one direction. We can only feel one thing at a time. And we also learned that in the face of others' pain, there is not room for our own. But that is not so. Both and is not the enemy of gratitude or perspective. It is not something that promotes wallowing in our pain. Instead, both and makes room for the full range of emotions that people experience, both in terms of how many things we can and will feel at once, regardless of how other people are feeling with what they're experiencing in their own lives. Both and creates breathing room so that you can work through an experience without judgment. And there are a few questions that, as you begin to be a both and person, that you could adopt. And you want to read those?
Yeah, sure. So you can ask yourself, if you've consistently employed either or thinking, both and will require time intentionally to adopt. So you can ask yourself, can both of these things be true? We talked about, can I be a good mother and can I be good at my job?
Mm-hmm.
Both of those things can be true. You can ask yourself, can I feel multiple things at once? Absolutely. Is it possible that this other person's pain doesn't mean that I have to be okay right now? Vulnerable example, I have a friend that's battling brain cancer, and it's been a long journey with her, and I've been having my own medical issues. I've had surgery, I'm healing, I'm trying to get back to normal. So there for a few weeks, I was not okay. And I made it okay to not be okay.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't have to compare my struggles to her struggles.
Right.
We were both struggling.
Right.
And
but you may have been tempted to say, when someone says, how are you? Oh, I'm fine. My friend has it much worse.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. It's easy to dismiss your own experience when you know that somebody else is struggling.
Mm-hmm.
And then also ask yourself, can I just notice what I'm experiencing without judgment?
Mm-hmm.
I like to call that just sit with it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just notice and respect what you're feeling, what you're experiencing. Yeah,
absolutely. You might notice that this permission from yourself can also make you experience relief.
Yeah. I think one of the things about, we didn't get into it so much in conversation tonight, but I think that both and thinking is also good for communities because, well, we did talk a little bit about how two people, we care about a lot of the same things. But if we get down to it, there might be something that you think one thing and I think another thing. Mm-hmm. And to recognize that part of your beliefs are based on your experiences mm-hmm. and the things that you've known and learned and mine too. And so that we can be respectful to one another, mm-hmm. Even when we maybe come at things from a different angle.
Yeah.
And when we are just doing like either or, black or white, right or wrong type thinking, and it can cause us to put barriers up around people right. in our community. And so that's not helpful either. So
yeah, I think and thinking just opens up new opportunities mm-hmm. for growth.
Yeah. So the activity we kind of closed with tonight was to write. Maybe you've been struggling with an either or thing, and to practice doing it. To consider how that you might change to and thinking is just to list two things that are competing. So you might say, I can be good at my job, or I can be good at my home life, and those might be your ors. And instead to write them beside each other and see if that writing them beside each other can help you come up with some creative solutions about how you can have both. Because when you have two things that you value, another great thing that came up was about you want to share about financial or like giving, how you help.
Yeah, we talked about, we're in a community where so many people want to give. We're a bunch of natural givers, and there's been situations where people don't know what to do. They don't know how to give. Either they're working full time and they just don't have the time, or they don't have a lot of money to donate or to help out. So we've got, I want to help, but I don't have XYZ. So while both of those things can be true at the same time, you want to help, and there's these barriers. So we need to get creative of how can both of these things happen?
Right. How can you be helpful, even if maybe you don't have much money to give, maybe you don't have much time, maybe you're not physically able to go help someone redo their bathroom where they ran out of money to work on that project or something like that.
Right.
So what, instead of thinking these are the things I don't have, this either or, say I can't do that because of this reason, say how can my desire to help and what I do have, how can these go hand in hand? And when you have this and thinking and say, I want to help and I don't have much money, it just will naturally push you to a place where you can come up with some creative solutions.
Right. There's plenty of opportunities. It's just a matter of you getting creative and looking for it. There was, for example, a community cleanup day, and there was somebody that didn't have a whole lot of time and kind of had a hard time mobility wise. So we designated her the driver of the truck.
Right.
We had a truck provided here. All you have to do is drive it.
Yep.
Yeah. It's just getting creative with what you do have.
Yeah. Well, we talked about even the simple thing of being kind to someone, being more patient out in public with people, writing one extra note, a sentence in an email that says, I appreciate you. Just small gestures, smiling, asking someone how they're doing and really wanting to hear. Maybe giving someone a call when you notice that they seem not quite themselves the last time you saw them. And so there's a lot of things that we can be helpful. And it doesn't have to be in the ways that you might think of most naturally. It doesn't mean writing a check to help someone, or doing heavy lifting. There's lots of ways. We talked also next time we're going to be meeting on Thursday, August 28th. And I think our plan is to grill burgers that night. And we're going to talk about kind of like our being able to identify emotions. So if you've ever wondered, what is this that I'm feeling? Maybe you've noticed tenseness in your shoulders or your back or your upset stomach or something. And just begin to investigate what we are, the emotions we're experiencing. And because emotions are all made to tell us something, they're designed to communicate. And once we recognize what we're feeling, we can learn what our body's trying to communicate to us, and then do some things to make us feel better. Or notice what it is and react.
And also, if you guys have any suggestions, if there's any topics that you would like to talk about at Community Conversation, please just either leave it in the comments, or if you catch one of us out and about, we're very willing and open to talk about anything.
Right.
It is a safe space.
So thank you, Whitney.
Thank you.
I know this is not it's a vulnerable place to be here on live, and we did it.
Yeah.
Go team. All right, thank you so much, and our hope is that this has been helpful and that will help you be healthy and have a healthy community. Bye. Of course, you have to double click.